Earlier, I spoke to the Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, and I began by asking him whether he thought the stolen Benin bronzes should be owned by Nigeria.
Well, I think that they properly reside in the British Museum. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't work with the government in Nigeria to see how we can share it with them.
Forgive me, and I understand sharing, but they were stolen. Do you not think that they should be owned by the people that they were stolen from in the first place?
Well,
What's up, my good people? Welcome back to the channel, brothers and sisters. I'm happy to see you, and I hope you're doing good from wherever you're watching me from. And in case you're coming across this channel for the first time, I highly welcome you to this little corner of the internet where we tell stories of Black people from our own Black perspective. We get to learn, to inspire each other, to acquire knowledge, stay informed, debunk historical false narratives, and continue to motivate ourselves, tell the stories of Black people honestly and truthfully. So in this video today, I want us to talk a little bit about Black heritage from a perspective of African artifacts that were stolen from Africa to Europe. So let's watch this video by this gentleman, and at the end of this video, we will definitely have something to say about it.
Earlier, I spoke to the Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, and I began by asking him whether he thought the stolen Benin bronzes should be owned by Nigeria.
Well, I think that they properly reside in the British Museum. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't work with the government in Nigeria to see how we can share it with them.
Forgive me, and I understand sharing, but they were stolen. Do you not think that they should be owned by the people that they were stolen from in the first place?
Well, I think that the problem with this, and of course, if we go back to things that happened in the 19th century and judge them by our values of today, it's completely unacceptable. But my concern about this is, where do you actually draw the line with this? The collections of our great national institutions have been developed over many, many centuries, in many times in questionable circumstances. I think the question now is about what we do with these. I love the Benin bronzes. I've seen them many times throughout my life, and I think them being in the British Museum, which is a world repository of heritage, allows people to see it, but that doesn't stop us from sharing it.
Okay, but ownership is key, right?
Yeah.
And the Nigerians say that when they get them back, they would almost certainly be happy to loan them back to you. But the fundamental problem is that they were stolen from the Nigerians and they want to own them.
I completely accept that they were acquired at a time of rampant colonial expansion in Africa, in circumstances that I'm not in any way going to sort of defend or condemn with the values of the 21st century. I think, though, the more important question is how we ensure that the world can enjoy this marvellous heritage.
A letter will soon be sent, mandated under international law by the Nigerian government, to the British Museum, formally requesting return. You and I know that would also require laws, the Heritage Act and the British Museum Act, to be revoked or at least amended. Is that a realistic prospect?
No, we have no plans for doing that.
These artifacts, who do they belong to?
They belong to the museums where they are now.
Where do Africa's treasures belong? Now imagine this headline differently. Imagine if it said, where do Germany's treasures belong?
But if they were stolen?
No, they were not stolen. It was looting, yes, but there were the looting of war was legal.
I don't get this distinction between looting and stealing.
No, it was stolen if you want, but in the 19th century, in the 18th century, in the 17th century, during all the wars, art was stolen. So we must get back everything or nothing.
The courage to say we were wrong. The courage to say about art acquired illicitly, this is not ours.
And more of this, these works of art, when they were taken. If they were not taken, they would have disappeared because many of artifacts, African artifacts, are made of wood, and wood it was not made to be kept, so it would have disappeared. They became works of art in museums because Europeans said it's art.
This position is paternalistic arrogance of the most stunning sort. It is also lacking in basic logic. Since when has the basis of ownership been taking good care of what is owned? Much of what we call African art are also documents that tell stories, that these are objects that are religious, spiritual, sacred.
And if you want to come back on this, why don't you come back 19th century, 17th century, 16th century? You cannot stop. You don't know where to stop.
Obviously, I don't think everything should be sent back to the countries from which they came. Not everything was stolen. But those things that are sacred, those things for whom people were killed, those things that have in them the stains of innocent blood should be returned.
How do we get African kids to see their own artifacts?
Yes, you can do this, in French museums and Africa to organize exhibitions. Yes, it's okay to send them to Africa, but they must return to the French museums where they belong.
Europe has defined itself as a place of certain values: progress, liberty, fraternity, tolerance, individual rights, and most of all, the rule of law. A nation that believes in the rule of law cannot possibly be debating whether to return stolen goods. It just returns them. Europe should be what it claims to be. Live up to the ideals with which you define yourself.
Okay, welcome back. So I know you find this as diabolical as I do find it myself. Why do white people always cling and forcefully hang on to our heritage as black people? Is it that they don't have what they can show for themselves, and then they have to fight, they have to do anything within their power, for example, to keep our own heritage, steal from us, and do not want to accept in the very first place that they stole it? You can hear that one gentleman there, he's using euphemistic language instead of just putting it clear that yes, the African heritage, the African artifacts were stolen from Africa. He wants to put it like acquired. No, bro, they were not acquired, they were stolen. And it is just fair enough, it is justice enough, it is human enough to give it back to the rightful owners. Historically, black people have put themselves in big trouble, and we put ourselves in this much trouble because we were just hospitable enough, and we welcomed people without caring, without thinking they were going to be bad people. But at the end, they have cost us so much than we ever thought. Now they came to the continent of Africa, they stole artifacts, they stole resources, which they continue to steal, embezzle, and plunder and pillage as we talk today in this era and age. They do not want to accept the iniquities, the atrocities, and shortcomings, and still we try to debate with them. We somehow just cannot find a way of we black people coming together to say no, enough is enough. Now, African art does not become art just because white people say it is art. And African talent does not become talent because white people say it is talent. It is talent, it is art, regardless of whether there is white approval or no white approval. So I needed to share this with you because we black people need to continue to advocate for, to tell the truth that we are the people that have ourselves to, nobody else is coming to save black people. If we can't save ourselves, if we cannot rewrite history, retell history, I mean, debunk theories, false theories, and propaganda, then nobody else is coming to save black people. Everybody has their own problems to deal with. White people have their own problems to deal with. They are not coming to save black people, to help black people in any way. And we have our own problems to deal with. And some of the things we need to deal with is rewriting history, telling the truth, and telling of white imperialists like this we've just seen in this video right away. Maybe something else I need to emphasize in this video is that while we talk about the subject of imperialism, white supremacy and imperialism, those the problems like slavery and racial segregation are a problem of white people, because they're the one who came up with the whole concept for their own benefit. And of course, it is to the disadvantage of black people, and also it begins to also eat into the white people as well. It becomes a problem to them as well, but it is their mess. And once you do a mess, it is your sole responsibility to clean up the mess. So white people must come out, take responsibility of slavery, of racism, of embezzlement, of theft of African resources, theft of African people, theft of African heritage, and ask for apologies, repatriations, return our artifacts, return anything possible. And most importantly, stop mistreating black people like they have done for centuries, you know. Um, but also, black people need to understand one thing. This is only coming to a realization only if we know the truth. And the truth is by sharing information of that is hidden from us as far and wide as possible to all black people, so that we can get together, we can stop the divisions that have been instilled in us historically by the imperialists, and we come together. um, we start to overlook our nationalities, start to overlook continental affiliations, and the best thing we can do is just identify ourselves as a black community from across the world. And once we have that unity, such unity of purpose, then we have a voice. We can actually now ask for, you know, what we want, and force our way into the truth, you know, and have power. So I don't know what you think about the idea, I mean, opinion of these white guys. Please do share your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section. Share and like this video. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, please go out and check our other videos to educate yourself, to stay informed, to know what we do in this channel. And please subscribe to this channel. Give this video a thumbs up and share this video. Until next time, I will definitely be happy to see you in the next video. Peace.